Well, hello and welcome to the Uncalled For. I think we have a really good show for you tonight. We have our top 10 men from history, from the present. We don't have the future yet, but hopefully soon. I was headed in that direction. But yeah, I think we did some work and we come up with some great people throughout history that I think is really, and of course the present, that I think were really good standout people that we should highlight. And we have some of the reasons for that tonight. So I think we have a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So how is everybody today?
We're here in present, actually in a good mood for Sunday.
Yay!
It's a rainy Sunday here. I don't know about anywhere else, but it's a little been storming the last couple of days on and off. But.
It has here too.
Well, I want to play a little something for Bill Gates.
Oh.
You prick. Man, did we have some issues pre-show, you son of a bitch. Fuck you.
And he's here tonight.
I wasn't going to mention it, but damn, the fact that we're even here after all that went on an hour before the show is about a miracle and a testament to Dick being able to keep his cool while we're all freaking the hell out.
Is Bill on Dick's top 10 list?
Weed.
True. And Dick's weed pre-show habit, like that helped. Like I'm gonna wait till after the show.
It's the only thing that got us through. Let me tell you. Otherwise, I would have been losing my shit. Fuck! It's all broken again.
I will say you were very, very calm. You were very calm. It helped. It definitely helped. So it was cool. So thank you for that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly. So anything good happened during the week? Did we have any interesting news news things that we saw?
I had something absolutely phenomenal happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do Black Mirror again. Charlie Brooker's back with this Black Mirror series, and I'm over the moon. And I'm just going to tell everybody that asks. Anybody that asks me how my day's going, I'm just going to go, Brooker's back. I'm good.
That's awesome.
I don't actually know what that means. I'm gonna have to Google. It's a TV show, is it?
You need to stop right now because you already are on my list because you've never watched The Princess Bride. Like, don't even go there about Charlie Brooker in the Black Mirror series. I might not even be able to associate with you anymore. Like, you just stop right there.
There we go. That's brilliant. That's really
no, really, it's classic. It's I've been I covered all the old episodes. I just restreamed them and covered them with a co-host, and we talk about them, explain them, and everything. I've got you could go and there's a 23 episode playlist on my channel. You can catch up. But this season there's only 5 episodes. The first one, they come out all at once on Netflix. Which is very disappointing. I'm from old school where everything used to drip and drab out. You had to wait for it. It was a little enticing. Now it's like, boom, here's the whole series. Now you can wait another 3 years. See you later.
Yeah, my wife is binging them as we speak.
Yeah.
Is she? Yeah.
Oh, is she a fan? Yes, because I am like, oh gosh, I'm. Oh, I don't know what you call when you're above a fan. Like I might even be in the crazy stratosphere type of fan about it.
Well, you see, this great thing about it is me and Charlie Brooker are great old friends. We used
are
to
you?
hang out. Well, I met him once. Well, I walked past him once. Does that count?
If you walked past him, I guess. I mean, you got to smell the air around him. I mean, that's better than me.
We nearly brushed elbows. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a big celebrity friend to me.
I would say, I hear he's really cool. I mean, he's good to work with and stuff. And
he's actually a grumpy sod, actually.
And that's just fine because as a creator, he's top notch. I just can't.
There we go.
The quality of the product coming out and the way he thinks it as a writer, because he is the writer of the whole series and everything.
What's really funny is Charlie Brooker used to be on BBC, and he used to have his own show, and he was continually moaning and groaning about how difficult it was to get a show, commissioned on the BBC or any television show channel, and so Black Mirror comes along and it's really, really successful, and then he shuts up about moaning about being unsuccessful.
Well, he did.
And it just goes quiet. It's funny.
Yeah, he did. He started there on Channel 4 with the BBC. First 2 seasons of Black Mirror were on there, but then they got into some contractual thing, whatever. It wasn't their cup of tea. He put out a special episode on White Christmas before the 3rd season, and then moved to Netflix. They picked him. He had a different, then there was a different production company actually owned the name. So when he and his partner Annie, they went to start their own production company, they couldn't take it with them. They had to wait to get bought by somebody else so that they could buy it back. Netflix could buy it back to rerun the seasons again. That was the delay. They waited.
Okay.
Because what he did was keep the product for himself the whole time. And so they were finding ways in licensing to keep him from putting it out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he, that's hard to do, right? From what I understand, it's really kind of hard to keep your product to yourself when you have all these people investing in it.
Oh yeah.
As the creator.
They're all grabbing at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, so that's exciting about that. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So.
But that was my exciting news. I mean, not just but it is relevant because he's gonna. I guess you could all tell he's gonna be on my list, right? Like after I did that, right?
Exactly.
But still.
Yeah. So should we just jump right in and get started?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sure. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first? Either way.
I don't know. We might as well. Want me to continue telling you why I love Charlie Brooker? Just that.
Yes, please.
Just that.
There we go.
Okay. He's a writer, producer. He started out in comedy, like Dunk was saying over his English in the BBC. He's just a phenomenal creator as far as with this Black Mirror series, which basically, if you're not familiar with it, it's all about the societal ills that can happen through modern technology. And it's kind of like a warning. It's kind of like a Brave New World if it was an episode like every day of your life. Like that's how Charlie Brooker writes. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of like what's going on now, but with the technology, little advancements, but he's really good about the details about the technology and about the impact on the individual characters in every story. And one of the beautiful things about the series is every single episode stands alone by itself as a perfectly contained little nugget. Like you never have to see any other Black Mirror episode to understand what he's trying to do. Just watch one, and they're all different. And he said in interviews that it was going to be different this time around, and he hoped he surprised us, and damn well he did, because the first episode is actually funny, terrifying, and funny at the same time. It's just, and it's a total knock to platforms in general. Here he is on Netflix, right, with a new contract and everything with his production company, and they got a couple of more seasons to do. And he's actually knocking streaming services in general on his very first episode for the season. Took a bat to the whole process, put fear in our guts about actually using our phones and watching Netflix from now on. Just go watch it. You'll see what I'm saying. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's like, but that's what he's like. He's the perfect tongue-in-cheek, because when I think of like outstanding people in general, not just men. The reason we're talking about men is because of last week, because everybody decided, like some certain people decided to say that we were man bashing, and Amy and I thought that was actually funny, because we actually loved men and we wanted to prove it. Like you look at Charlie Brooker, and he's not a bad looking man, but he's not a movie star or anything like that. But I don't like him for his looks or anything. I like him for his creativity, the way he thinks. He's funny. He started out like on the BBC with funny. He's got a lot of different comedy things that he did. He dabbed a little bit in political commentary type series, right? DK over there. And then he's also He's also done some children's stuff, all funny, all just funny stuff.
Cool.
He's got this one cat and dog called Rowdy and Peanut. It's on Netflix now. It's an interactive kind of cartoon thing about an art thief thing. It's really kind of cute. Interactively, like he did with Black Mirror, he did this Bandersnatch movie type where you could actually bringing in the gaming culture by you actually could change what happened by picking different options through. It was interactive through the whole thing, and there were multiple different endings and multiple different paths to the storyline. It took a year for him to put it out, and it took so much time actually to create the whole process of being interactive that way. It was kind of different, and a lot of people didn't like that part of it, but it did bring in a whole nother generation of people over to Black Mirror and his stuff just from being interactive that way. So he played with it with children's shows too, and it was quite successful. Well, he's funny, he's charming, he gives good interviews. But what I really like about him is he understands the actual process so well, and how well you have to protect yourself as a creator out there to keep your ownership of what you do, because he's been around for a while. He speaks freely about it. He is also a great supporter of equal opportunity in the industry that he's in, which is difficult. A lot of his producers are women. His partner, not his wife, but his partner in production, I believe her name is Annie Jacobs, is actually, they've been together for a really long time, and they get together so well. You would think like they've known each other their whole lives. Like they finish each other's sentences in interviews and in concept. I can imagine creating together must be really something for the two of them. They're such a good team. He's really good at building teams as far as creativity wise, like cinematography. Like each of his episodes, you can tell he's picked the people that actually will portray what he's trying to say the best. You'd have to watch one of the episodes to see what I'm saying, but like in one episode about this woman's like naive look at life, almost everything was tinted with baby colors like pink and like kind of pastel-y hinted over, just to give it that candy fluffy kind of look to it. He does really stark dystopian type black and white, would come in. He allows the directors and the cinematographers to direct the actual feel of it to look exactly like what he's saying. They all work so well together, and he's got a good reputation with working with them that way. He builds great teams. Lots of people want to be in this. Selma Hayek was in the opening episode 1. And yes, and I can't remember her name now from Schitt's Creek, but the blonde actress from Schitt's Creek that has the great facial expressions all the time. I think her last name is Daniels, but she's actually the starring character. Like people just love. Michael Cera was in it. Like people just love working with him. He's got a big list of heavy hitters in all of the episodes, but as a generally decent person. And actually there was a lot written about him is actually helping young journalists and young writers, giving speeches and mentoring and things like that, and I thought that was also a really good thing. I like people that give back too. But
that's awesome.
There you go. That's it. Just for his creativity alone. He makes me laugh and think. He makes me think. And those are two very important things. He's very thought-provoking and gives me a giggle. That's definitely the first step in the door. So as to being an awesome person, let alone an awesome man. So there you go.
Claire and Charlie sitting in a tree.
He's very happily married too. So like it's not like that. But I would love to meet him, Dunk. If you had said you actually had his number, we were going to talk.
Yeah, I was actually going to work for him for a while. That never happened in the end. I was going to be working in his office. I did actually work in the same office with him, so that counts. But
you breathed the same air as Charlie Brooker.
I walked the same ground and crapped in the same toilet.
We just got an email on the Shills account, and some guy named Charlie's wondering if he can have Claire's email.
Yeah, sure. Give it to him. Give it to him.
That's Charlie Welch.
Charlie's already has it. I'm collecting Charlie's. Okay. No, Charlie Brooker can have my email. Yes, he can.
I'll give Charlie Welsh a Charlie Booker mask and a plane ticket. Is that close enough?
God. Well, Charlie's pretty funny himself and creative himself. He's got his own talents actually there. But we had. Well, you guys know that. You work with him. I'm not telling tales here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So does that make it Amy's turn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, should I do one? All right. Let me see here. All right. Well, mine is also, I do have one from the present as well. I have my very first one is Sir David Attenborough. I've always loved shows. I just, he's a great guy. He's worked tirelessly on environmental issues and the preservation of endangered animals. One of my most favorite, I think everybody in the chat can probably guess what kind of critter it is that, that's endangered that he's highlighted on his shows before. I've watched that.
Kippers.
Yeah. I've watched that 1,000 times. I can tell you that right now, that little clip of my BBs. But he's done it without controversy. He's always, well, thank you, Tony. I love you too. Always worked tirelessly towards these things. He's a very intelligent man. He's a biologist and everything. So he knows what he's talking about when he talks about these things, and he's just a fixture in everyone's home. Everybody's heard his voice at some point, and he's still going strong at 97 years old. I think that's pretty damn impressive. So yeah, I've always liked him. He's always talked about things in such a calm manner, and he's made these animals endearing, and it draws attention to nature and to the environment and to the plights of these animals that are endangered. And I think if we can get that into people's consciousness, we can all work together to save the animals and help protect our environment. And what more could you ask for? And he's a nice man. So there we go.
That voice is so recognizable.
And here
so
we are on the plains of Africa. Never seen him do Shark Week on the History Channel, though, have you?
No, but it is. It's very calm and soothing, and to me that makes it stand out, because a lot of the times you'll have crikey, and I love him too.
I do love him too, but
I love him too. But he has his place
spectrum.
too.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, and Steve Irwin always had his place too, and I've always liked him as well. But it's calm, it's soothing, and you can watch these, and it's 1,000 times over, like with my favorite animals.
Do all that, and he's doing good works for the world. So
exactly,
so that's good.
Exactly.
You got to take that voice seriously, though, right? Like when you hear that voice, it's a real documentary. Like there's going to be some facts coming out here. Like
they're coming at you.
It's not fun and games, right? It just settle down. It's going to be serious. Like I got to listen. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how I learned about my kitty cats and all about them, is partly because of him. So, and from the help of others on YouTube as well. But I mean, he was first and foremost. He was the first one that I come up with for the documentary. And then the other one was the longer one about my critters. But he was first. He's always the go-to when you have to look for something. Anything that he's been in, there you go. There you have it. So he's he is first on my list, but there are others, that have equal importance. I don't think they're numbered as far as importance is concerned. It's just that he happened to be first because he's the first one I thought of. So
my list jumped around, like, because we were already talking about Charlie Brooker, so I brought him. He wasn't even number one, although.
Well, we've done A, we've done B.
How about you?
What about C? I'll go for Carl Sagan.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I made a list just in case, and he almost made mine, man. Damn close. Yep.
Carl Sagan for the same reasons as Richard Attenborough. Sorry, David Attenborough. Richard Attenborough is also very, very cool. But yeah, David Attenborough. Yeah.
Spared no expense.
But a great documentary maker, a great teacher of science, and a great leveler of information, and just like to bring it down to the people. And he used to go to schools and inspire kids. For a man who was brought up in was it Brooklyn? Was it Manhattan? I can't remember now, but it was in New York.
Right.
A guy used to go and sit out on the stoop in New York and look up into the sky and go, "What are these dots in the sky? They're just lights in the sky, kid." He wanted to find out what they are, so he went to the library and asked for a book of stars. They gave him a book, and it was all Hollywood legends, and no, not that kind of stars. I mean, yeah. So, so a fascinating guy, and also, you got to congratulate him for giving him the voice of Kermit the Frog. Otherwise, just lovely man, great man, fantastic. Thank you very much, Carl.
Exactly. And he was amazing too. I love the pale blue dot. I've always wanted to.
God, that makes me cry.
Me too, though. Me too. Yeah. But I would love to read it. I would do a reading of it. I think it would be fun because I love it too.
Yeah, that would be fun. I love the way he just could take the largest concepts and make them so digestible to anyone. The great talent. That's not easy to do.
Exactly.
It seems flat earthers still seem to have a problem with it, though.
Yeah, true.
That's a compliment, and that's why he's on the list. Like they should. I mean, just his name should give them headaches.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, kids understand it. Flat earthers, no, never mind.
Exactly.
Just the mere mention of Sagan should just give them a migraine. Yes, because
it does. It gives them the twitches. You can see it. You'll see.
So that's our ABCs of great men.
Okay, how about you, Dick? You got the D for us? Oh God,
I do. I do. Yeah, I have this man. He gave us the Jazzmaster, the P-Bass, the Telecaster, the Jazz Bass, and the unbelievable from heaven to earth Stratocaster. I present Leo Fender, founder of Fender Guitars.
Good choice.
Very nice.
I mean, they definitely, wow.
And amazingly, couldn't play guitar for Toffee.
But it worked out.
Make them, though.
Yeah.
He sure could make them. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's
a great smile.
there's an argument for Les Paul, Gibson Les Paul, the Les Paul, right? But almost every true virtuoso of guitar over the years has played a Stratocaster or a ripoff of one. Jimmy Page and a few played Les Pauls, but almost all of them play the Strat. It's just a fact. Leo is the man.
Yeah, no, Leo brought it to the masses. I mean, they weren't cheap, but they were cheaper than anything else you could get. And he just basically put guitars into kids' hands. It was a guitar that was always in the pawn shop that he managed to buy,
He single-handedly changed the game and made it so rock and roll could truly become what it is. A fact, right?
Yep. True.
And more than rock and roll, bluegrass, country. I mean, he touched so many genres of music. The guy just deserves to be, honored daily,
Yeah. There we go. Right? He does. He's helped put music out to the people.
Right?
Exactly.
And those guitars are still here.
They sure are. They're beautiful.
Still being made. Yep. That's good. That was a good choice, Dick.
That was an excellent choice. Yeah, excellent choice.
Yeah, he impacted the world. The world.
Sure did.
Thank you. I agree.
Very good. That was an excellent choice. Awesome. I love this because it does speak to who we are and what we are passionate about too. I love this. I love these lists. These are great. These are
Oh shit!
awesome.
I better erase the rest of the names on my list then. Oh shit!
No, I'm
Well,
scared
mine's
to go
pretty
with the rest
eclectic.
of mine. Mine's eclectic
Nah.
and kind of weird, but like,
Mine's weird,
yeah.
and so aren't I. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So, and I'm good.
definitely. I tell people all the time, I'm just a big old nerd. Totally. Yeah, because my number one
Absolutely.
was always the only person that always stays the same on my list whenever I think about this list, is Tesla, Nikola Tesla. I got a thing for Tesla. I do.
You got a thing for all of them. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, Tesla, because Tesla was like the epitome of crazy genius, like the epitome of the inventor who just can't get out of his own way and just totally, like, he had it, like he had all the process, he had all the science, he had the brain, he did it all got taken from him. I mean, look what happened. I mean, he worked with everybody else who got famous for it. It was his ideas all, but he was also, I mean, look at that look, Amy, right? This was a great womanizer too. This man could not get out of his own way, but he had great humor. He was a little bit weird, but he made no bones about it. He was like, this is who I am. The one thing he was genuine. He did not make any apologies for his craziness or his ideas. He was like, I know it works. I'm going to do it. I don't care if you don't understand. Here we go. For the progress that he made towards making everything. He was a little bit misunderstood. He ended up, after making all of that money, he made quite a bit of money, and ended up pretty much in poverty, living in a hotel in New York, one of the best hotels in Manhattan, though. And he never settled down anywhere. He lived in hotels his whole life, everywhere he went. Wow. He was like kind of like a traveler, womanizer, a little bit. He never really settled down. He was a bit misunderstood, but I just think he got a bad rap. And I'm going to be, a fan of this genius and say his name every chance I get, because other people just try to take his work away from him. They did successfully take his work away from him and make much better products out of it. And one of the reasons that they did that, it was because it's easier to manufacture, easier to produce, and actually easier to keep us having to rebuy everything. Because if we actually went a little more with what Tesla was doing, it probably wouldn't be that way.
Plus, you got those anal holes on the ancient aliens that are sullying his name all the time too, right?
Oh, God, man.
I know.
Okay. Now we gotta talk about the ancient aliens. They did not make the list, by the way. Okay.
No, thank God.
Yeah. But anyway, I just think that Tesla gets a bad rap, and he's always going to be on my list. Not the other guy.
Mind you, he was planning to transmit electricity through the air, so we'd all be walking around with that electrostatic hair sticking up in the air. So I'm not too sure that would have been a great idea.
I don't think it would. Well, he did, maybe with electric. Yeah, it would have been really bad for hair, maybe. But I'm sure there would have been things you could do about it. I mean, that is the common joke. They also try to say that Tesla was the reason that they made the Frankenstein story the way they did, because of his ideas about connectivity and all of us having some electrical current, everything on the planet does, which it sounds like a general statement that couldn't possibly be true. But when he put it right down to the molecules and all, there really was a little something there to it. There is something of that nature that connects everything together. But what it is, but he wanted to put it in the air, like you said, and not direct it. I agree. That's a little crazy, but he was still in the testing, I'll give it that. Well, brave enough to do it, had that conductor right there. They make fun, you always see, in the crazy movies where they have the big conductor in the middle of the castle or in this whole room somewhere, and it's putting out all the stuff everywhere. Those are Tesla experiments.
More time studying the force he should have done.
Exactly. I just don't think he gets as much credit as he should for a lot of what he did. So he's going to be my number one. Yeah.
There we go. Exactly. That was a good one. Yeah. That's a really good one. And I agree. He definitely belongs on that list. So that's always 100%. Good. Yes. So my next one is Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, yes.
I know a lot of people might think that's a little controversial, but
Wait a minute.
actually, he's
I
not
agree.
to me. To me, yes, we fought the Civil War, but we did end up winning, and he did bring the country back together. He did, the amendments came with, we ended slavery. That's a good step in the right direction, headed towards civil rights. I know it
Damn
took another
straight.
100 years, but at least he started us on the path.
Amy, would you say that a civil rights movement might have been a little bit more accelerated and, happened maybe a bit quicker? I don't mean right away or anything. Had he actually lived longer?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that it would have been more accelerated. I think we would have seen, a civil rights act much sooner had he survived.
Yeah.
I think even after legislation that helped to try to make the issues not feasible or the right thing, I think it would have healed more. And I think he would have been better at bringing people together, because that's one of his great traits, right? Amy is just bringing people together about an issue.
Exactly.
Like making them stand and look at themselves as he does into how they're acting about certain things. I think it would have fused what we call the Great Divide in our country a lot
I
sooner,
think so.
because unfortunately it's still here, because it's still quite the divide over it. It's like nobody ever got over
even
it.
to this day.
Mm-hmm.
150 years later, even to this day, we still have issues, and I think things could have been maybe not vastly different, but I think different than what they are now if he had survived. But yeah, he was a very articulate man, and he was able to tell you his ideas and tell you why he had those ideas, and in a way that people could understand as well. And I think, level 70 is right. I think he would be rolling over in his grave today. They were part of the then Republican Party, but back then it was more, you could say, quote unquote, progressive, I guess is the best label to give it.
It was about law and order in progressive, but actually he was one of the. It's funny because he's a Republican, right? But actually, what he worked towards is one of the democratic foundations of our country. Okay, he strongly put the foundation base of some of our democratic issues, of what the Democratic Party stands for, and that is like the no one is less than attitude.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then he actually stood for that and promoted it greatly. Well,
Now, you got a super chat to address there, Amy, but before we go there, I do have an issue with Abraham Lincoln.
What's that?
He doesn't own a comb, and he's got a wonky tie.
I was going to say it's the wonky tie, isn't it? Because I had the same issue.
There's your controversy.
I don't like the messy hair thing. Like it's okay with me, the messy hair. But that
he's
tie
just got out of
thing,
bed.
Yeah, that tie thing. That tie thing is annoying. Yes, it is.
That's an OCD thing. Yeah,
I don't think it is a tie at all. I think it's just a croissant. But anyway,
gosh, say that again. A what? A croissant? He's wearing a croissant? What? No. What is it called?
A croissant.
A croissant. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I'm saying it properly. Never mind. Right.
No, you probably are. I just didn't know what it is. Like, that's me. I didn't know what it was.
Okay, I just need to grab that super chat real quick. It's for American $10. Stephen Walsh says, "Humble Abe, every USA citizen should walk around Gettysburg."
Yeah.
I agree. That would be a wonderful thing to do. Thank you so much, Stephen. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support.
On the back of that, Amy, if I can, Nadav Ben Shlomo had dropped $107 donation to the channel yesterday during the live stream, and PayPal didn't give me the email until we were off air about 15 minutes later. So thanks, Nadav, as well.
Exactly. Thank you so much for that, too. Thank you for your support. That's amazing. So, yeah, and he did some great things, and he move the country in the right direction. Hopefully, if he'd have lived longer, he would have pushed it even further. And sadly, he didn't. But I think we've got good things to come too. And so there's that one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Amy. That's
Thank you.
Boy, how are you going to follow that one up, Dunk?
Well, I got some good ones on my list, but I'll save that for later. I'm just gonna straight in here.
Boris Johnson.
Baird. Boris Johnson. No, John Logie Baird, the invention of the television set. Without whom all our entertainment would be at the stage. We'd be watching this stream live at a variety show. On stage.
Yeah.
Wow.
And next up, Dick Dawson
theater.
with the spinning plates.
That is a good one. None of us, like really, without the television, none of this other stuff, the monitors, anything would be here. Like, wow.
True.
Wow. Good one.
Very good.
I didn't know who it was. You said
Yeah.
that name, and I didn't know who it was. I'm ashamed of myself right now.
Well, put it this way, Claire. No John Logie Baird, no Charlie Brooker.
That's true. Wow. I'm forever now. He will be on my list because without him, no Charlie. Like, how could I go on? How could I go? Oh gosh, thank goodness.
Well, you'll be
for
less
John
hot
Logie.
and bothered, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know, but I would be living less. But yeah, so I could say John Logie. It's John Logie Baird. Like that's his last name is Baird.
Baird.
Baird. Okay.
Like you, but with a D on the end of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good call.
Excellent. That was a good
I got one.
Okay.
Let me get myself all ready here. So I've got a man who indirectly started at least 2 automotive companies, and one is still kicking ass. He always wore his cool dark shades. He was so cool he had purple ink in his fountain pen. The old man himself, Enzo Ferrari.
Yay, that's a good one.
Yeah, and
That is a
beside
good
him,
one.
Wow.
beside him is the late great Gilles Villeneuve, racing driver from Canada. Of course, I use that pick, but that Enzo
Yes.
Ferrari. Yes.
I thought that was
Logie.
Steve Martin on the left.
Yeah, a little bit, isn't it? It's the high pants, right? Don't get those high pants from the movie that he did. Like I always think of Steve Martin like that now with the high pants up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Enzo.
And I remember Gilles Villeneuve. I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was young, he was on my binders that I took to school and whatnot, Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
I think of him as a daredevil. This is excitement, Enzo.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. He was very cool.
Exactly.
And those
and
cars
please.
were gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Especially the screaming V12s. Oh, bring it back, please. And please, if you're into Formula One, no Canadian Grand Prix spoilers in the chat, please. I haven't watched it yet. I get to watch it after. Please, no spoilers, okay? Yeah, we're good? Okay.
The Canadians lost.
Yeah. Well, Lance Stroll isn't exactly a genius behind the wheels. So, but anyway, enough. Sorry. But that's my next pick. There we go.
There you go. Back to Claire. Bing bong, Claire calling.
Back to me. Okay, we'll go to the number 3 on the list, and that is another writer, Douglas Adams. Sorry.
Ooh.
I just can't get away
yeah.
from these English writers. They're paramount in my life. But Douglas Adams, not only did he write, for 42, you all know the restaurant at the end of the universe, Thank You for the Fishes, and the most famous one that they made the series out of. Can you all guess? Yes, you all know. You all know. Well, we all, most of us have read it. If you haven't,
Thumbs
you
up.
better get to it. You better get to it because it's like a classic, and you're gonna have to. He's got a star. He's got a star named after him for his most famous character, Arthur. But that's not the only reason. Not just as a writer, he's phenomenal. I mean, he taught me that 42 was the answer to everything, and never go anywhere without my towel.
Love it.
And to always thank everyone for the fishes. Be grateful. But besides that, he was also an active atheist in a community at a time where it wasn't really popular, but he was one that had a lot of grace. He was not one who went against anybody who had belief. He actually coveted through his life trying to understand the phenomenon of what they believed and how how passionate they were for it. He never really put anybody down that much for it. And I actually modeled my own atheism after him to be kinder in belief that way.
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is steeped full of belief. The whole book is based on belief.
Yeah, because he never really disparages actual belief. It's the type of belief that he walked away from as an atheist. And I think that that's a good message for all of us, because you can do it in a way that is not like you don't have to slam what you actually don't attest to for the science or whatever reason. Belief does have a place in many different ways. And I admired him for that. And I read him when I was younger, and it stuck with me from the start, especially what you said, Dunk, about there being so much, knowing that he was an atheist, but he was writing this way with true understanding, belief, and kindness about all of it. That spoke volumes. That spoke volumes to me, in that I could walk this world as an atheist and perhaps get accepted also. It has not
and also being
but
he also showed that being an atheist, you didn't have to be unkind, which
Right.
which is one thing that is the one thing that really puts the atheism thing in a bad light is just how unkind they are.
Yes, they do get a reputation as being elitist, or
Yes.
and it's not very kind to treat anyone as less than. I'm a big advocate of you. If you're doing that, you don't have an argument. If you have to make someone else less than to get your point across, whatever it is, you're coming from the wrong place, and it's always not a good argument. But he showed me that it doesn't have to be that way, and it stuck with me, and it made me more comfortable. When I first came out here, I wasn't going to tell anyone I was an atheist. I just probably, some of you here probably hearing it for the first time. You don't talk about it all the time. Well, he made it possible for me to be comfortable with it, knowing that I didn't have to come out and be aggressive. I didn't have to put other people down just because we didn't have the same idea about something. And so that was my first lesson on that as a young woman. And it stuck with me. And his works afterwards, and just how he went through. He's an activist. He's a big animal lover and gardener, and just a good all-around general person. Genuine. When he's pissed, he's pissed. He has done things that people will disagree with, yes, but he does what he believes, and he stands behind it, and he tries not to put people down about it. And I had to admire him for that. Well, especially someone who loves animals and gardening, and his family as well as he did, and to be that famous and out there, it was a good role model. And so when I think of best men, he always comes up,
Exactly.
He had the intelligence, the humor, the creativity, and the kindness.
Without him, we wouldn't have a name for the Friday show at the moment. So he's good in my book.
Yeah, I could reread those books over and over again. The Hitchhiker's Guide series, as a book, the trilogy, and then the one at the end that they threw in at the end about the fishes. You could just keep rereading it. It's comedy. It's comedic. It's mind expanding. It does have some thought provoking concepts in there, and I don't know. It was totally enjoyable, and I could read it again and again. And if you haven't read it, everybody, I recommend. I definitely recommend. It's a classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, also made into a radio series, a TV series, a movie.
Yeah. The movie.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's not talk about the movie. I did work on the movie, but let's not talk about that one.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you worked on the movie, but I was okay. We'll talk about it later. Sorry. I mean, I'm sure it was a great experience, and it was.
I got paid.
There you go.
That's right.
That's the way to look at it.
There's always a silver lining, isn't there? Small blessings, mitzvahs. There you go. You got paid for doing it. I'm not trashing the work. I just I'm a big fan, and I loved the books, and I often get disappointed when they make a movie out of a book. Often. I often do, because I want so much. Like when you read a book, you're able to add so much to it, to the words and the visions that are in your head. And then somebody actually puts that vision out there for you to look at, and you're like, that's not what I had in my head. Like, what? that's not what I thought was going on. And so there's always that big risk of being disappointed. I'm often disappointed with what they do. It's not necessarily the quality of the work.
Exactly.
Well, okay, Amy.
Oh, sure.
Can you follow that up?
I think I can, because I have someone who brought those books to everyone in a sense. Yes. Although while the printing press was invented in China, we have Johannes Gutenberg, who
Gutenberg.
brought us. Yes.
Yes.
Also
yes.
Police Academy.
He brought the printing press to Europe, which is the Western world, obviously, especially back then. And so with the printing press, he brought books. He brought the ability to mass produce books so that everyone could have them and read them, like the ones that we were talking about. And we still enjoy the things that he brought to us from China every single day. So I think this is a good one. This is the best picture I could find of him. The other ones looked really grouchy. This one looked a little bit more happy, so a little more gentle. So yeah, and I think that's why we had to add him in there, because he brought us mass-produced books, and here we go.
Oh, yeah. Without him, the modern library never would have taken hold, right? You need copies, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he did advancements in the ink and in the process of printing itself. He was instrumental in so many of the advances that happened. He just kept moving it forward. He did things with the ink and with moving typeface, right?
Yes.
Everything. Like, he moved that process forward so much. It's so much bigger. And that's why he's got the Gutenberg project. Like, we wouldn't have all that free literature, all that free access without Gutenberg. Yeah.
I bet he wished. He said, right, well, anybody who uses my process or prints anything from now on is going to have to pay me half a penny per publication.
Per letter.
He wished per letter. Just half a penny per publication, and 0.001 penny per publication. And
still. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He would own the world right now, right? His descendants would own the world. Yeah.
They sure would. I mean, because look how many are mass produced today. Mm-hmm. Millions of printed books get sold daily. I mean, it's incredible. And I have printed books everywhere. It's it's just one of those things. And, we wouldn't have, and we wouldn't have, the books, the stories that we have now so readily available to us had he not brought that over. So that's why I look at him too. It's pretty cool. So,
yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's a good one.
Thank you.
Well, I can't think of the guy's name, but we should probably add to the list of the guy who invented the paperclip. But
wait, let me. The guy who invented the paperclip? That's a good question.
There was. I don't know. There was some guy. But
what if it's not a guy? That's what I want to find out. Wait, it was a
guy.
Of course it was a guy. Shut up.
Okay, the patent was... Oh, wait a minute. The patent was granted to Samuel B. Fay in 1867. Okay, that was the patent.
There we go.
For the paperclip. Okay, so, 1867. And it was a guy. Yeah, because like women didn't exist in 1867, we know. Yeah.
Another one that was submitted to me as a joke too was the man who invented the washing machine. He was... He actually is a hero, actually, now that I think about it, because there'd be no way I'd be beating my clothes on a rock.
Yeah, it's probably his wife who beat him into inventing it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to invent a washing machine.
She's
Do it,
eternally great, but
or
yes,
I'm leaving.
make the washing machine exactly. I have a couple super chats. We have one again from Stephen Walsh. Thank you so much for American $10. Says translation to the local language. That was profound. Exactly.
Yes.
And then the second one is, if I can get my, is from, I love this name. So fucking sleepy. I love that name. For two American dollars says Happy Father's Day. Thank you so much. And thank you both for the support. Thank you. So yeah.
That's so funny.
It is funny.
Well, I tell you what, on that point, it's probably a good time for me to bring up my next personages on the list. Is my two dads. My father and my father-in-law, and my dad died several years ago, but my father-in-law died a month ago now.
Sorry.
Sorely missed. A great man, worked in the RAF for most of his life. Married his wife, or should I say my mother-in-law, at a very, very young age, just to get her out of the hellhole that she was living in. Because it was basically a Cinderella story. She was being bullied and made to work as a slave in the family home, and treated like shit by her sisters. And my father-in-law married her so she could get out. And they were together. Well, till he passed away. For all their entire life, a massive, wonderful love story. And he was, amazingly loved in the RAF. Everybody knew who he was. An incredible man. And I could say great stuff about my dad too. But just on a Father's Day thing, I just thought, bring those two characters into the story. I mean, we're probably always going to do that. When you're going to ask who's the greatest person or the greatest man in your life, you probably always are just going to go to my dad. And I'm hoping my kids was do the same thing once I'm passed on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They don't think much of me right now, but they might miss me when I'm gone. But
they need that distance things. To really appreciate. Yes.
No, it's not true. We have a great relationship. But yeah, just dads all round.
Exactly.
It's so funny because when we planned the show, it didn't even occur to me that it was going to be Father's Day weekend that we were going to do all of it. And it just kind of worked out. Like it
worked out perfectly. Yeah. It worked out perfectly, and I think that's good too. So,
because just because they're not on the list doesn't mean there's not like exceptional people, men in general. Because this is just about the men. We made sure we weren't going to make it like one of those, we have to throw like an equal number of women in there. It was going to be 100% men. That's it. So there's tons of them out there. It was so hard to choose. It really was.
Well, that was the issue too. And
and I'm sure there's great. I mean, they've got Einstein in there. We've got Newton. I could have bring in artists like,
Don't give him all away. You're not just supposed to rattle off names, Claire. You're supposed to bring them to the table.
No, these are the people that didn't make the list. Like Salvador Dali didn't make the list because I found, because Brooker was on it. Like I didn't have room. I'm sure Dali's going to be really pissed off about that narcissist that he was. But But I mean, there's just so many great men out there. If you're just looking for men that change the world, there's.
Has Dick got a favorite man? I mean, he's
what he was. He was about an hour ago that he got us up here on this show because like several of us, it was not going to be possible. So he was the man of the hour. Yeah.
It was close. It was close for sure. So I have one to carry on here. I mean, this will be very easy introduction and almost nothing needs to be said, but thank God for rock and roll, fellow babies. Elvis.
Yes. Perfect.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's it.
I'm
That's
not
all
even,
you got to say.
I'm not even his biggest fan when it comes to being like a music listener and whatnot in life, but I love everything that came after a lot. So Elvis, you know.
Yeah. Personality alone, he was very self-deprecating. He could make fun of himself. He just had a good time. He was creative. He's very good looking, and man, can he move! Like there's nothing bad to say about Elvis.
Yeah.
Taught by I was going to say Ferris Bueller. No, that's not. It wasn't. Run, Ferris, run.
Yeah, maybe it's the hair. I don't know.
That's funny. Actually, he kind of looks like he could be that Giorgio Tsoukalos' grandpa with the hair all straight and shit.
Yeah, that's true. With the messy hair that everybody likes. But yeah, Giorgio Tsoukalos really does something. Yeah, he does look like he's being sucked up by a vacuum.
He's being sucked up by something.
Being hoovered. Yeah, he's being hoovered.
Dick makes a really good point, though. You don't have to like his music. You don't even have to like him, but you have to appreciate what he did to bring music to the state it is today. Yeah,
yes, he did.
Oh, absolutely.
Massive changes.
He changed the genre. He really did. He moved it forward. He made it popular.
Right.
I'm sure the Beatles are grateful for him.
Yes.
I just had to say it. I'm sorry. I know it hit me.
But it's true.
Yep.
Because girls all over the world wouldn't know how to throw their panties and scream as well if it wasn't for Elvis.
Well, that's right. And he was the one. Yes. And I can remember, I remember my mom used to listen to Elvis all the time when she was growing up. And she was talk about how everybody was just horrified by how he swiveled his hips on TV. And I know, it's disgraceful. It was funny. But now it's nothing. But he also was
the tits and your cock out. Yeah, you just don't get onto MTV anymore.
There were so many right then, but Elvis was the one known for it. But there was also like Jerry Lee Lewis in Fat Chubby Checkers. La Bamba. This is like Buddy Holly. This is the era when they all like, this is the screaming girls like fan, like that's when it started. Okay, they start throwing themselves on the cars. You can't go anywhere. You know, the big crowds.
The super fan,
the super fan media thing. Yes. That's when Elvis was actually moving that along with all of them.
I'm sure Mozart had to put it with the same sort of thing.
I doubt people were throwing themselves at Mozart when he walked
and his carriage.
And I know that in that day and age, nobody could get their panties anywhere near being able to toss anywhere. Like they had to go through 17 layers just to find their panties. Like, come on. Like, no.
And were they even wearing them at the time?
But you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine that? Like Beethoven and Mozart, like having fangirls, like following them around and stalking them and stuff like that.
It would have been easy to stalk Beethoven because he was deaf at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He just snuck right up on him,
Yeah. Is it really a stalk when he knows he doesn't know what's going on? Like, I don't know. Is it like this kind of
just taking advantage of him? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. All right. I'm done amusing myself with that one. That was great.
All right. Come on then, Mrs. What's on your list next?
Who's next?
Yeah, me? Claire.
Me? Okay, you're gonna love this one. I picked the person that I look to as the man that just represents every regular guy a little bit younger than me right now that I would admire. And so I'm gonna put up Ryan Reynolds. There you go. Yeah. He is affable. He can make fun of himself. He has great humor. He's not bad looking, but he's not like what I would call like a 10-10, although he's a movie star. He's got like average looks, but he's genuine. And he's a genuine real person in a genuine real relationship. He loves his wife. He thinks she's one of the most admirable people on the planet. Okay, and speaks of her highly all the time. He's a family man. He's funny. He gives back to charity. He loves animals. He's actually quite smart. If he doesn't like everybody to know about it, but he's pretty genius. But this represents every man I know just about right now that I talk to on a regular basis. Just genuine, real, treats people like people, not objects, and That's my pick, and he's going to be on my list. Plus, he played Daredevil.
I was going to say, but what's he been in
Well,
recently?
there you go.
But what's he been in recently? He's been very, very quiet.
Nope, he's the man. I'm sorry, he's the man, and he can do all that. He's funny, genuine. He can be a serious actor. He can be funny, but the key here is just genuine, real. That's how he represents himself in film, and he actually has a real decent reputation outside of the industry, also as just a all-around good person. So there you go.
Okay, I can out Ryan Reynolds. You're Ryan Reynolds, but I will come to that in a bit.
Oh, how can you out Ryan Reynolds? Like, what? No, okay, challenge accepted.
I got my trump card, but it's Amy next.
Okay.
All right. Well, my next one. Well, just think about what you are watching the stream on. What are you watching it on? It doesn't matter if it's a cell phone, which is kind of computer based, or a PC.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that for a moment while I say the next one. The next one is Alan Turing. He's the noted computer scientist who is known for having developed the idea for the universal Turing machine, which is the basis for the first computer. He's also considered to be the father of theoretical computer science and artificial intelligence, which is what we did a show on the other day. Yeah. So, and the poor thing, he was part of the LGBTQ community, and he was they gave him, I'm going to talk about this. He was chemically castrated. And so I know, horrible. He ended up killing himself at the age of 42.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, he was so intelligent, and it was such a loss to the community. He finally did get an official apology for that. Which,
it came too late though.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Too little, far too late, and it's so sad. But he was an amazing man in the meantime, and it's
so
just
admirable. He owned his sexuality. He never hid anything. He
No, he
never
didn't.
tried to be fake or do anything, and he wasn't he wasn't a danger or anything like that. It was quite tragic. I agree with you.
It is very
how
tragic.
He was treated,
Yes, it was. It was very tragic, and what a loss of such an intelligent man, and the things that he did for for the computers. We're able to stream to you today because of what he came up with. I mean, it's.
And not to mention all of his secret, research and everything for the government. Like that was the
exactly.
whole
Not even mentioning that.
He cracked the Enigma code.
He did.
He did.
Cracked the Enigma code, and what made him so depressed afterwards was that he worked for them all along, and they knew this. But once the charges came through, they decided, because it was public, that they actually took his security clearance away from him, and he couldn't do that work anymore. And that's what led to the spiral down to what they believe was his suicide. Although, there's also the rumor that he might have been accidental. It might have been an accidental poisoning due to an experiment he was running at the time. But,
exactly.
But people did say he was depressed about that, losing his security clearance. And it was just tragic. They knew all the great work he did, and it didn't affect his work or his getting along with anybody at the job. Let's be honest. He did it for years.
Look what he was able
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's going to be public knowledge. Then boom, you're gone.
It's heartbreaking because it is very tragic. He was, he was a nice man, and he. The amount of the amount of knowledge lost because they did that was just disgusting to me, and it's just all because of something that they perceive to be quote unquote bad. It's just people are just it's just horrible. It really is.
There is actually a plethora of really bad, some really sad stories of people in the homosexual community back during that time, just being ostracized. Like you say, you either go to prison or you get the chemical castration. It's your choice. So many horrific stories.
And then
It is horrific. It's
and
disgusting.
then when they go along
Yeah.
with it, and then to still lose your job, your security clearance, and your standing, and it's a loss to them. Their actual judgment of this whole thing, they're the ones who lost on a great mind. Look at all the work he did before. You know, if they gave him more time, look what else he could have been doing for them. And going forward, they just cut your nose off to spite your face, kind of thing.
Yeah, we could have had
It was
Chat
terrible.
GTP in the 1960s. That would have been great.
Well, you know, it might actually make sense if they did it then than it does now. Because look what he's doing now. Like, it's just like-
Exactly. Well, you
Could
got
have
to
written some
get
Beatles songs with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not even in beat. Like, it's so offensive.
And then you have stupid people feeding it that 2 + 2 is
Mhm.
5. So there
Mhm.
you go. There's that. So
It's a new acronym
yeah.
now. Stupid in, stupid out. Like, I don't even like put garbage in, garbage out. Like, it's
Yep.
stupid in, stupid out. That's it.
exactly.
I mean, what we're talking
You
about,
can only
Turing,
output what's put in.
I would also throw in Charles Babbage in there,
Oh, yeah.
who invented the computer before Turing.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
invented the
Mhm.
Babbage computing engine, which was
Wow.
an amazing piece of engineering.
That was.
Never got its full potential, but yeah, shoulders of giants. That's all I can say.
Mhm.
Great people.
Exactly. Amazing
sorely missed.
people. Exactly. Exactly.
Man, this conversation is giving me goosebumps. This is great.
Oh, you want
Thank you.
goosebumps? That'll come later. I got goosebumps for you. I'll tell you what. I'll bring you the goosebumps on my next one.
Okay,
Okay,
wait. First we
okay.
have a challenge. Now we got the goosebumps.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Promises here.
Here we go. Here's the challenge. I'm going to out Ryan Reynolds. I'm going to out Ryan Reynolds, your top trump card, with my top trump card, Robert Redford.
Oh,
Ooh.
well, there's a little unfair. Now we're talking generation to generation. Aren't they the same person?
No.
If you actually
The
put what they
clones.
all have in common, why you like Robert Redford, yeah. Ryan Reynolds is the Robert Redford of this generation. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'll just go for the Robert Redford of the Robert Redford generation then.
Okay, there you go.
So
It's a tie. It's a tie. It's a tie.
I mean,
Oh.
no, it's not. No, it's not a tie. It's not a tie. And I'll tell you why it's not a tie.
Why?
Robert Redford. Okay, obviously, you know it can't be a man who can't look at Robert Redford and say, "Jesus Christ, that's a good-looking fella." He was, especially in his younger days, he was a good-looking fella.
I don't think
Tall,
anybody in the
blonde,
chat would turn
blue-eyed.
Ryan Reynolds away either. Like,
Well, yeah,
come on.
true. I mean,
Fuck him.
you probably would now, but also
I mean,
Robert Redford
put on
was.
a Daredevil
Hey,
suit.
shut your fuck up! Shut up! It's my turn. It's my turn. Then you can come back. Right, Robert Redford. Right, amazing actor, brilliant actor, superb, absolutely natural. Played some amazing roles. Not only that, he kept pushing the film industry forward for young independents. Came up with the Sundance Film Festival, where they were promoting new talent all the time. He's always been helping people out through his entire life, and he's still fucking doing it now. He's practically, in his grave, but he's still doing it. Little wrinkly old turtle that he is now. But yeah, what a man! Great man, great person in Hollywood.
Yeah, can't argue that. Definitely.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Can't argue that. I will argue possible tie just generationally. Well,
No, doesn't count.
I don't know. Leave it up to the chat. I don't think you and I get to say whether you Trump.
Well, the fuck do they know?
Like,
They're all drunk anyway.
Can I just grab this super chat real quick?
I think
We
you'd
got one.
better.
Thank
Yeah,
you. We got one from Stephen Walsh for 10 American dollars. Says Turing machines and cryptology lives on. Another museum, along with Gettysburg, is the National Cryptologic Museum. No security clearance needed. Open to the public. Featuring Mead. It's featured in Mead, Maryland. It looks like it says. Thank you so much. That's really
Okay,
cool to
cool.
know. So whenever we get down there, we'll have to go and check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support.
Takes ages to type a URL into one of those machines, though.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that would be like trying to type in a URL on an Altair with the switches on the front.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. So, Dick, I know you're not going to be able to trump Robert Redford, but what you got?
Oh, please. Do you not know me well yet?
Oh, yeah, I was just waiting for it, but
Yeah. I have the man who, more than anybody, pretty much single-handedly gave us the home computer revolution, bridged the gap between the little homebrew kits, and gave us a product that we all could love and enjoy. If you're a nerd or a geek with any street cred, you know him as the Woz, Steve Wozniak.
Oh, Steve! I was wondering which one is he going with, Jobs or Woz? Like, I was like, going.
Jobs just took his ideas and ran, and then fucked it all up and got kicked out. Woz started Apple because he actually made the system. He's the man.
Stayed a good human being, might I add.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
To his credit. Unfortunately, Jobs is a genius, but he wasn't a really nice man. No, he wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Wozniak couldn't take it, and he left. He was like, this is all just too evil corporate for me. I'm out of here, you know?
He's still a happy person. Like, he was always still a happy person. I gotta say, good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah,
That was good. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
Excellent.
Yep.
I do
prove
too.
You can make your millions and still be a decent human being. Look at that.
And not be
Yeah.
a jerk.
Yes, and not be a jerk. Look at that.
Exactly.
Boy. Well, we're winding up, huh?
Oh, we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, we got our last ones. I'm sorry, like, to tell you, Dunk, but there's people in the chat that just love Ryan Reynolds. Well, my last one is gonna look like I'm being a little territorial because I'm from Jersey. And as far as music, Dick's gonna laugh his ass off because I did not pick them as a musician, although they are. But it's Jon
They're one
Bon
of my
Jovi.
favorites, though.
Yeah. Jon Bon Jovi, not the band, the man.
The guy.
Okay? The man, because he's right here from Jersey. He stayed local. Yes, he did his whole rock star thing. He's a talented musician. He writes. He still helps others with it. He's got some of his original bandmates. He's like one of those long-term, old-fashioned rock and roll kind of feeling for a band and the loyalties and all of that are there. They did their whole big thing, Stadium Rock. You guys can go back and forth on whether it's good music or not. It is entertaining. It is worth its creativity. It took something to do it. He's a damn good performer. People loved him, women especially. But what I like about Jon Bon Jovi is he married his high school sweetheart, who we kind of know this whole situation here, being from Jersey, right here in my own county. He's very
Cool.
local. He married his high school sweetheart. They waited 9 years from high school to get married, dating on and off. And they actually got married at the height of his career during Groupieville, if you know what I mean, Amy. Okay?
Yeah.
And he admits to doing the rock star thing. But Dorothea, his wife, has been the grounding force behind it. They have always been altruistic. They have always given back to the community. They have always been very,
Yes.
very active in locally based thing. I met them casually while they were doing fundraising for a local grammar school. Him sitting right there after the height of his career, sitting there in his local town, letting people put his name on tickets to fill an auditorium to get a program for arts in that school paid for. Not giving out time. He runs JB's Soul Kitchen, which is a national program right now. He owns the local one here. They're putting it out. And you can find him washing the damn dishes. I kid you not. That's the only thing Dorothea lets him do because it takes too much time. He goes out front like everybody wants to talk to him. And none of the food gets served. So he washes the dishes willingly whenever he puts in time there. You can go to that restaurant and not pay. The homeless can come and eat. It's actually people learning how to cook that run in the kitchen. And you pay whatever you want for your dinner. You can pay as little or as much so you can get
That's
back
cool.
to the charity. It's one of the coolest things I've seen out there. He doesn't have to do it. He does a lot. He's got like when Katrina happened, a terrible storm here in the States, we lost so many things. He was one of the ones down there with a foundation, rebuilding homes, giving people places to stay, putting up trailers. Like they went, they're very altruistic. He walks the walk, not just talks the talk, and he
He's
doesn't
amazing.
need to. He doesn't need to. He's got kids, and they've had their troubles through their teen years, but they're all very productive now and doing things too, and also giving back. That he and Dorothea have raised good humans, put out a good example, and he's one of those rock star things that you look at and you say, well, rock star thing with, cheating on your wife, drugs, alcohol, this and all. It doesn't have to be that kind of story. You get through all of
Right.
that and actually end up to be a damn good human being, giving back all the time. JB Soul
That's nice.
Foundation was started with a sister that he knew that does a lot of good charity work, and actually started to fund the work that she wanted to do to help get it taken off as a big program, and it became national. And anyone can, if you know anyone who wants to start one of these kitchens like this, there's a program that he puts out there
Excellent.
free for everybody to try to do the formula and get involved, because he would like to see more of this out there. Well, just as a good human being and
Yeah,
good looking, nobody could say he's not good looking. Like, even as an
Exactly.
older man, like he's
Oh yeah, he looks
Nope.
better than me. He's got all his
there's
teeth.
nothing wrong with that. He's got perfect teeth, and just like, and
Yeah.
he's and his humor, the way he is always laughing, and he can make fun of himself.
Such a
Totally.
happy
Yeah, but
guy.
I
It's
love
so
I love
nice.
the fact that you can get that spectacular rich as a rock star, spectacularly rich. And you go, oh, do I buy a yacht, or do I buy an island, or do I buy an airplane? You go, no, I'll just I'll open up a restaurant for homeless people to come and eat.
And not
Oh,
just in
that's
anymore.
brilliant.
And
That is brilliant.
there are lots of musicians and actors and famous people that do that, but they don't actively participate. When I tell you that Dorothea in Jon Bon Jovi actively participate in this program daily, like they're running this stuff. He literally is in the kitchen washing dishes.
No, I agree, because it's really
cool.
it's really easy for people with lots of money to just donate money, because it's a tax write off for them. Yeah, but
Exactly.
actually to be actively involved, like you say, yeah,
No,
that's
they
the
truly
amazing
believe
thing.
in it.
Yeah.
This is what has kept them together. They've always done stuff like this together. They just celebrated the beginning of May their 34th wedding anniversary, and there was like a People magazine
Nice.
article that came out if you want to know about like their love story and how it went through. But
Cool.
I just got to say, another just genuine good person that happens to be a man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's on the list.
Perfect. And I've got 2 super chats, please. We've got one from Mark Beiser for $6.66. I like the amount. Worthless list didn't even include the inventor of mechanical refrigeration using a refrigerant, Ferdinand Carré. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Mark. That's true.
As a Canadian who likes cold beer, I agree with that one. Very good call.
I do like my milk cold, so that's always good.
Yep.
So yeah, and then we have a second one from Stephen Walsh for $10 American. Says New Jersey, a pillar of the United States, loud and proud, one of my favorite states. Thank you so much. And then we have a member message come through from Karen L. Thank you so much. Loving the broadcast tonight. Thank you all. And it's got a thumbs up and a feather. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of testosterone in this stream tonight. Lots of testosterone.
That's right. Exactly. So there we go. So
All right.
who
Who's next? It's DK, isn't it? Dunk.
Oh, is it my turn? Oh, okay.
Yes,
I'll
please.
tell you what. You want that hair tingling one, Claire? The one that makes
Yeah.
the hair stand on the back of your head?
Yes, that's it. Yes, you said the goosebumps. You give me the goosebumps.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Stanislav Petrov.
No. Really? Dick, do you have a picture? Wait a minute. We got to find one.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. It's the way
hoping
no,
picture was gonna
not
tell
him, not him. Oh, amazing. No.
Oh,
it's
wait a
very-
minute. No. This is
Yeah, Stanislav Petrov
wait,
was.
the nuclear false alarms? Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Hey, wait. Do you want to tell the story or fucking what?
No,
Yeah, you
that's
just
the
get on
only
with it.
thing that comes to my mind. Is that who it is?
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh,
Yes, the
well, I guess
Russian.
that does make my hair stand on end, but for the wrong
Yes,
reason.
the Russian officer during the middle of the Cold War, when everybody was ready to press the button and just destroy everything. He was the Russian officer who was on duty that night when they had false signals coming in from Russian satellites of an attack coming from the United States. And he did not relay the information on because he knew they would press the button and just go full on. He delayed it because he thought it was false information. He waited. It turned out he was right. If he didn't do that, well, God knows where we would be right now. And
here I have I can show you actually. If he hadn't have done that, it would have been this.
Ow! Well, that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
that's goosebumps. Okay,
much.
you win. You did.
There goes my house.
You brought the goosebumps. Definitely.
I love this quote from him. He said, it was my job. I was simply doing my job. And I was the right person at the right time. That's all. He says, my late wife for 10 years knew nothing about it. So what did you do? She asked. Nothing. I did nothing.
Yeah, perfect.
And the fact that he did nothing saved the fucking planet.
Saved the planet. He did nothing. But
Exactly.
that deserves to be on that list for common sense. Sensibility survives. Common sense does exist. Like, there you go. And
it's nice to have like a positive story, from Russia when all we have is just absolute negativity these days.
Did anything happen to him? Did they penalize him in any way, the Russians?
I don't think they did.
Did we ever hear from him again?
Yeah, no, he carried on. He had his service continued for several years, and I think he left and went into medical care or something. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look it up. Someone will tell me.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. Yeah,
ugly German truth isn't here to correct me, so
I know.
I can say whatever. He went. He became a dancer, and and he was well known for roller skating around Moscow.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's a hot motherfucker in a tutu. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
And gauging by that photo, became a lumberjack.
I was going to say, wasn't it more like a lumberjack? He's okay. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. That was a good choice. You did.
That was a good choice.
I don't feel you won the challenge on Ryan Williams.
Reynolds,
rather.
I just want to personally, unfortunately, he's dead now. But Stanislav Petrov, thanks for doing fuck all.
Thank you. A man doing nothing, and it was the right thing.
It was the right call. Exactly.
You see, I try to use that excuse all the time when when my wife's telling me you're doing fucking nothing. You're just lying there on the sofa doing fuck all. Said Stanislav Petrov did the same thing. He saved the world. Thank you.
Stop trying to pull a Stanis. Like, it's not going to work.
Exactly. I do need to jump in here. I have a super chat for from that guy for $2 American. Says, Bud plus light, this blight is for you. Thank you so much.
And Kaltenberg in the chat just had a baby. Congratulations.
Congratulations
And happy first Father's Day. Woohoo.
Yeah.
And the baby is here tonight.
yeah. The
First
storks,
live
man.
stream.
Yeah. Did the stork? Are they quicker with the delivery now? I mean, mine, they were at the door for 5 minutes looking for a tip. That was crazy. Anyway,
It's about 10 days ago. Congratulations. That's wonderful. And happy Father's Day. It's your first.
Yes, happy Father's Day. Oh, got another one. Go on.
Yes, we did. Thank you very much. Stephen Walsh again for $10 says, there is this false equivalence fallacy. Russia has not nuked my property after all this expansion. How deep do I need to dig my bomb shelter? Thank you so much. That's brilliant.
Oh, that is a good
14 hours. Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah. So, yeah. So
was it your turn, Amy? I think.
Oh, maybe it was. Well, we were on a kind train before with Jon Bon Jovi and everything. And so I figured I would continue on that. And everyone's childhood favorite. I'm aging myself. Yes, I know. Yes, I had to pick, and this is one person who just kept coming to mind every time I was working on this list. I'd sit down to work on it. So I had to add him. And I think he's one of the kindest people, along with, with Bon Jovi as well, that could be added to this list. And it's Fred Rogers. Mr. Rogers to me is was always one of the most kindest people, most accepting person that you could ever meet. And he always did good in his community as well. He's the one, he obviously was on television. He was also a musician and a writer. And he also obviously did his puppets and everything. And then he was just such a kind, and nice man, and he just taught everyone the power of kindness. And he when he was in the world, it was such a much better place. When he passed away, the world got a little bit darker after he was gone. But I've always loved him, and he was just so incredible, and never heard a bad thing about him ever. And he was just an amazing person. He was, great with kids. He was very kind and like I said, very accepting of everyone. You should just be friends and love everyone. So that's why I picked him.
Everybody knows, won't you be my neighbor? Come on.
Exactly. Yep. And we do have 2 super chats that come right in too. That guy for $5 says, "Did you know Molson also brews a beer with a red cap? And I love that best of all." Well, there we go. And then the next one again from Stephen Walsh for $10. And yes, and not a sniper. Thank you very much, Stephen.
That's
thank
funny.
you very much. Yeah. Yes, and Hill is right. He made everyone feel special.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I would always throw Jim Henson alongside with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the Muppet Man.
Very similar man. Brought so much
Yes.
joy to kids, so much imagination. Just wonderful people.
They were amazing people, and never let the fame go to their heads. They never let it make them jerks. You never heard them doing bad things. And nowadays we just have too much of that. And these 2 people we lost way too soon, and it's very sad. And they were wonderful, and but their kindness lives on. So that's the way I have to look at it too, is, the power of kindness can live on, and it can spread, and
Absolutely.
it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I wish I was successful so I could be kind. Unfortunately, I'm not, so I just have to be a cunt.
No.
Oh, okay.
In a kindly way, though.
A kindly cunt. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Well, those were some
Big Bird's
lists.
still my friend.
I think I did all my 5. I don't know, Dick. I think you might still have one, don't you? Do you still?
Yeah, I think it's my.
I actually thought you were bringing 10 each.
Well, that became a struggle.
Yeah.
That did become a struggle, and so, like we said, okay, if we add Amy and mine's together, that is 10. We're not misleading anyone.
No.
Well, I got 9 on my list.
Oh, you worked hard. Oh,
He
man.
did.
Wow.
It did.
Wow.
I just
Go on then, Dick.
Okay. May I present what do I say? Isaac Newton. Come on.
Hey, well, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
true.
And Newtonian physics, of course. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Isaac Newton.
And look at that
That's it.
hair. Hey.
I know.
Hey. Yeah, like that Missy hair. That's pretty good.
There we go.
Yeah.
The bedhead
It's
is
a
in.
wig.
Well, he's got dark eyes too. That's always nice in a scientist.
Oh.
And as a side mention to Newton, I want to shout out Edmund Halley. Let's say it correctly. No, he didn't discover a comet. He predicted it. But he's the one who published at his own expense Newton's what the fuck is the first book called? Damn it! Yes, and but Halley's the one responsible for us actually knowing about it. So
Well, there you go. Yeah, nice shout out. Yeah.
Stupid name though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Didn't roll off the tongue.
They say
Yeah.
Haley. What is Holly? Really?
Yeah,
It's Holly?
yeah. It's actually pronounced Hallie. Yeah. And I mean, Halley's thing was awesome because he used prophecy against the religious community by predicting where that comet would show up in the sky, and he was 100% correct.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. He took their own game and threw it right at them. But, you know, Newton, come on, right? Look at what Newton set. Newton set us on a path that we're still loving and enjoying right now. Well, most of us, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so many keys you could throw into that bowl alongside Isaac Newton. You got Copernicus, Leonardo da Vinci,
There's just so many people.
Kepler. Oh my God, there's so many huge
Yeah.
people.
So
Yeah,
many.
but Newton brought us calculus and stuff like foundations that live on so strong, right? It's got to be him, you know.
Well, also did the Greeks, and also, you know, they invented sex. It's just the rest of it figured out how we could have sex with women.
Dude.
Oh.
Dear God, somebody make a co-ed bathroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just telling you how it is. You know, history. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I think everybody did awesome on those lists. That was incredibly cool.
Well,
Anybody?
Thank you.
there is one person you've missed off this list completely, and I can't believe you missed it. And Amy, you said it. You know, you started it off with the with your introduction. You know, past, present, future.
That's right.
Okay.
The one person who is not on this list and should be on this list is Captain James T. Kirk.
I thought you were gonna go with Picard,
Oh no, fuck him, the baldy git. You know, no, mind him. No. We're talking about the OG one that actually.
The OG
Listen,
from the 60s.
I'll grant it. I'll give him OG, and he's all that, and like he cut the pathway for all of that with Star Trek. Oh, he's a bit pompous for me, not like the.
No. Talk about William Shatner. You're talking about William Shatner, not James T. Kirk.
Isn't
but he
James T. Kirk?
Yeah, and literally just played himself without a shirt. Like, come on.
He still balked every alien everywhere he went. And he's like still a pompous.
All right then. Okay, I'm going to throw this one back at you then. All of you. You pick a future person that we're waiting
Nostradamus.
to. And no, that's not. He's not
Say
future.
bad about Nostradamus. He knew the future.
He's dead, Claire.
I know he did.
It
But
made
you can't say
shit
anything
up.
bad about him.
He just threw darts at a dartboard, and sometimes
I
he
got
got the
one.
right numbers.
He made shit up in such a creative way that everybody who reads it thinks there's actually something to it. Like that takes some talent, like to make it that obscure that it's true for everything. Come on, you said
Go on.
future. Hey,
Go on,
that's
Dick.
like-
No, Dick Skinner was the proper one. Shut up.
Doctor Who?
I think later on in life it'll go down that Operator Starsky has quite the reputation to be considered right up there on the list.
yes,
I think so.
yes.
I thought you were going to say
Absolutely.
Elon Musk.
No, oh God.
You know what?
Doug, I
was-
just think it's really bad manners to make one of the panel guests puke before the end of the
I
show.
was
Yes,
I was going to add him to my list just because I knew
You're trying to
it
get
would
me
wind
to
your
throw up.
knickers in a right twist.
The hell with my knickers, it's my stomach you need to worry about it. Like, God, no, don't. And don't. But Starsky, I'm all for that. I'm a fan.
Perfect.
I'm an absolute fan. Love the man. He should be up here. Brave,
Absolutely.
funny, talented. Yes.
Strong. Very good.
Strong, brave, yes, kind. He
Beautiful
takes care of
singing
baby-
voice.
but takes care of baby kittens, animal
Yeah.
lover. No. And very funny. And funny, like self-deprecating funny, like he just He don't take himself too serious.
Yeah, but you didn't introduce him properly, though, Dick. It would be in the future. It would be President Starsky.
There you go. Ambassador Starsky. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that
see
actually.
it.
I could see Ambassador Starsky. Absolutely.
Commander in Chief of the UN, Starsky.
There we go.
Still hanging out with the Shills on every Friday night.
Absolutely.
Ring us up, Starsky. We'll start your PR campaign. Let us know. You got volunteers here.
Exactly. I have to grab the super chat real quick. We got one from Stephen Walsh again for $10. Says Euler and parametric coordinator, radius, humdinger, and Russia blowups. Smart Budanov. Thank you so much. We appreciate
nice
that.
One.
Well, yeah, that's a point. Anybody from the chat want to throw one in?
Yeah.
Top 10 men.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, give us your opinion, and we'll rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. No, I'm just kidding. But
No, that's a good. That's a bad way to lose. Way to lose viewers. Bad way to keep them.
They're all saying me. They say me, and then they say me too. Yeah, okay. I agree. Zelensky's doing a great job. That's a good selection because he's really out there for the people. And every day, he doesn't take a day off. Yeah,
exactly.
He is going to go down in history.
Exactly.
He's making moves. I mean, he really is. He's out and present and very out front with everything that they're doing all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's showing how it could be done and it should be done.
Absolutely.
I give him a lot of. I have a lot of admiration for him. John Denver. Yeah, that's
I like that one.
Wow,
Yeah.
I like that one too.
That's
he's
a
one
good
of my
one.
son's. Yeah, he's one of my son's favorite human beings because he was such a nature lover and a cool singer and stuff. My son loves John Denver. Good shout.
Yes,
Terrible pilot.
Exactly.
You'll be
dear.
happy. Elon got a
Oh,
vote
dear.
in the chat. There you go, Donk. You have a friend. There you go. That guy. He's with you with Elon.
That guy.
That guy. I think that guy is Donk.
I think so.
I think so. Okay.
I do not have the energy or the enthusiasm to be running a troll account right at this moment in time.
I mean, yes, I hear you on that one.
There was a funny episode of South Park where they went to the fairgrounds where they have the rides, and they had the John Denver experience, and you get into this airplane and strap in, and it just smashes you off the ground from side to side. It was I don't know if it was funny, but it was funny. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh,
Well,
I love that.
Yes, and we just got a good member message. Thank you so much, Graham Price. From Graham Price, gotta be Freddie Mercury, obviously.
You know what?
He was-
Yes, absolutely.
I wanted to bring Freddie Mercury in, but we were talking about we were talking about this off air last week before we thought what we're going to do for next week, and we were also sort of like thinking of okay, great entertainers, great people, incredible people, but there's also some people that shouldn't be celebrated for their other side of things that they got up to in life. Freddie Mercury was an amazing musician. Well, not musician, but an amazing entertainer, amazing singer. But there was stuff that went on in his background that shouldn't really be celebrated. Even though he tried to be kind as he transitioned to being out and stuff like that, he created a lot of hurt to a lot of people.
It did create a lot of hurt. It's true.
And then he did actually just go off the fucking rails and just became a rampant sexual maniac.
And dangerously so. And he admitted so later that he actually put other people at risk unnecessarily. And I can see what you're saying there, and it's okay to speak about stuff like that. And I think even as the turn at the end of his life, when he came to terms with all of that, he would want you to speak about it and say that, you know what, we shouldn't praise that. You don't
exactly.
put people at risk. Yeah.
But as an entertainer, as a singer, as the lead singer of Queen, just
he's the consummate frontman of a fucking rock and roll band. Like, my God, he owns the audience, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wish he would have
Graham,
done more to right the damage that he did and speak out more about it, but it was an embarrassing situation. It is hard to own up to that kind of stuff and come out.
Well, at the time as well,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't the sort of time when you could talk about those sort of things.
Yeah,
more
he was
openly.
no milk. Yeah, he was no milk, but still, like, I just, he lived it, and he actually took the wrong way about it, keeping it secret, putting people at risk. But then learned later that there's a better way to do it. But he just didn't. He didn't do the advocacy that some others had done. So I get why he shouldn't be there. There are others that were just as involved in that scene that could be an advocate for what happened.
Yeah, but there is a lot of subtext in his songs, in
is.
those later years. So yeah, it is there, openly, but like you say, subtext.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about like enigmas that you want to go for, like something they're really famous for, like musically, why, like, let's Robbie Robertson,
Oh,
somewhere
I
down,
love Robbie Robertson.
somewhere down the lazy river. Oh, that Robbie Robertson, not like the modern one, but there's not much we know about his life that I could actually bring him up, even though I think that.
Well, he started with the classic rock band, The Band. Take a load off Fanny, right? And he didn't really take to being, and he didn't really take to being like some rock and roll star guy. So he always went the obscure route. He just didn't care.
He just kept to himself, and he was kind of a hermit, and that's why I had him on my list, but there wasn't really anything to talk about, so I had to put a line through him. Although I admired him for, actually, the reason I admire him is that he was there, he did that, he got the fame and did everything, but you don't hear a lot about him because he chose to keep almost everything about his private life and everybody involved in it off the record. So there's like there's nothing to say except for, damn, every time I hear that song, damn, do I love Robbie Robertson. Period.
Mr. Spock in the chat also throws in John Lennon.
Oh God. I could go on for hours. Don't get me started on John Lennon. Yeah,
okay, we got you started on John Lennon. The clock is ticking.
He's my hero. Let's just put it that way. Because like he had all the fans, but he wasn't the best looking Beatle. Okay, he was the controversial Beatle. He was the Beatle in trouble all the time. He couldn't shut his mouth up no matter what if he had something to say. Kind of like somebody I know, like me. Like I understand a person like that who can't get out of their own way because they just have so much that they see wrong with the world that they just want to try to do something, and they just end up doing the wrong thing. But and getting famous for it over and over again. But I think he was taken away too young. I think it's a tragedy what happened. I think he had so much more to give to this world. I think his solo endeavors are just as good as his Beatles stuff, if not better. I think he was part of that quattro. They all work together, but the songwriting team of him and McCarthy, you can tell the difference between the two of them, just being able to work with what their strengths and their differences were.
Well, good news for you, Claire. Thanks to AI, he's got a new single coming out soon.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could deal with AI John Lennon. Like, really?
Paul McCartney's in on it and all. They're finishing off an old song. Yep.
Because here's the thing, John Lennon as a personality, right? The quirkiness, the stupid bad jokes, like, really, seriously, some of the bad jokes that exist out on the air now came out of his mouth. Like, they were funny, but they weren't funny. They were like dumb bad jokes, but he loved it. And like, just as a character and personality, I want to see this now because I can't believe AI is going to be able to capture that. Like the John Lennon. Like
it's an old record. It's an old recording. They're just using AI to clean it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So they're not going to try to give me an AI version of John Lennon, like, fake.
Yeah, they'll probably just get some impersonator to come and just like, yeah, can you sing these lines? Because the AI couldn't fucking clean it up, so can you just do it for us?
Okay.
Exactly.
No one will know.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh jeez. Yeah. Well, I'm going to look forward to that though, because like he's a hero of mine. I admire him.
Amy, you got Soupy Choopy.
Yes, please. That's what I was trying to get in. Thank you. We've got another one from Stephen Walsh for $10. Says, did you see Purple Rain at the Super Bowl? Purple Rain, that changed my life. Prince. Yes.
Prince was on my list too. He's
That was an awesome record.
phenomenal. There's a vault of content from Prince, of songs that he wrote that nobody's done yet. This guy was so prolific. He couldn't actually do all the stuff he wrote, giving it out to other artists and all that. We'll be hearing Prince songs for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I think so.
And all in such a tiny package.
Adorable tiny package. Sorry. During his time, all the frills and everything. He's the only man I know that could wear high heel boots like that, and I was like okay with it. Like I
did that.
Okay. I was besides Frankenfurter, of course, for Rocky Horror. I mean, he did it justice too, but still,
oh,
he was
absolutely,
like, for a different reason. Like Prince, like it looked all right. I was okay.
He could carry it up. He could pull it off. He was amazing.
Yeah, I was more than okay with it. He was hot. Totally hot.
He was. Very, very distinct, very interesting looking man. He was handsome.
And so, also did in his own way give back to Detroit, his hometown and everything. He tried to do boys clubs and stuff like that, musician, making musical avenues for people to do better, using it for therapy and things like that. He always contributed to local schools around there. So he did a lot of altruistic work on his own too, but he was real quiet about it. One of the shyest musicians out there, and he made it a thing. Like that was his thing. Like that was one of the things that made him like so sexy out there when he looked to the audience and all this.
Well, that's the thing. When you see him on stage, you can't imagine someone like that being as shy as he was, because he's just like so full of himself and full of confidence and flamboyant. It's amazing. But then he comes off stage and goes, "Yeah, all right, yeah,
yeah."
Exactly. It's it's amazing how many people are actually in broadcasting, streaming. You'd be surprised at how many people are very shy who do these types of things. But it's pretty funny that he was too. But he could get right out there and perform on stage. I can just imagine the anxiety that man must have felt.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. I know I would have.
And that is actually kind of rare to actually be able to have the big persona that he did as an entertainer, as a total entertainer, regardless of the fact that he wrote every stitch of music and lyric that he did, and then some for everybody else too. Like it was like double, triple. He's like the triple threat that way, and then to be so reclusive about it, like to have all that and be so reclusive,
And that's it too. Oh my goodness, we got a super chat. We got a super chat of super chats from Stephen Walsh. Thank you so much for $100. Prince played the cheapest guitar, but he slayed it, and he did. You were so right. That was amazing. Exactly. Thank you so much, Stephen.
Huge thanks. Yeah, there's an amazing thing you can find on YouTube, and it's Prince with Tom Petty and a few guys jamming a song at some performance live, and Prince goes off the deep end with the guitar solo. It's incredible, cool stuff. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I used to deal with this discussion all the time on my guitar channel back in the day, and it's like, if you can play the guitar, doesn't matter what the fucking thing is, you can just pick up any old crappy guitar and you can play it if you can play. And the people who can't play need to have the perfect guitar, otherwise it doesn't sound right. No, it's just
exactly.
if you can play the guitar, you can play just any old crap from a pawn shop and be amazing. Even if it's out of tune, you'll play it in tune.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think we covered quite a few. Roger Daltrey has a long-established children's fund where I live into the Rainbow's Hospital. That's what Bombi 1138 says. So thank you for that too. So that's really nice. I watched a guy play a 2-string shovel. It was awesome. That's cool. That was from Richard Stevens. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
See, that's the other thing as well. You could just spend the whole night just talking about people who have done amazing works for charity. Not just by like I say, tax write-offs, but actually putting the flipping effort in and helping people.
Well, that's it right there too. There were so many who did, and it was this list was so hard to make because there are so many good people out there. It's really true, and so it was really hard to do. So that's why a lot of people that probably should have been on there weren't. It's just too many to pick from. You gotta narrow it down, or we'd be here for 3 weeks straight, just streaming right straight. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't get to Glenn Miller, Admiral Lord Nelson, or Santa Claus. He wasn't on the list. What's wrong? What's Santa Claus? Come on.
I know.
And the other person we didn't mention is Jesus Christ. He should be on the list, surely.
Who's on the list?
Oh, you mean the fish guy from way back? Yeah, he was cool,
Yeah. The guy who went waiting a lot. Yeah, that guy. He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Seemed like a chill guy. He seemed really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. That was good. Once again, if you want to check that live Prince performance I was talking about, it was While My Guitar Gently Weeps with Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, Steve Winwood, Harrison, and Prince.
That was that was the foundation one. That's oh my god.
That's right.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Danny Harrison, but yeah.
Danny Harrison. That was the George Harrison tribute, I believe, concert,
Yeah.
wasn't it? That they were doing a fundraiser. Yeah, that's another one. George Harrison. Nice.
And check my OnlyFans if you want to watch something else that's weeping. But
Oh God.
All right, and I'm out. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
There we go. That
Yeah, it's called While My Pant Leg Gently Drips.
Oh dear God.
why we gotta end this show about men, fantastic men like that? I would just like to say, did you notice that these two were not on the list for comments like that, right there, right there? Okay,
I won't. There's only one list I'm on, and I don't think I want to talk about that one.
Okay, there we go. But as I'm just joking, they're great guys. But yeah,
Well, he's on the see you next Tuesday list because he keeps using that word. And then so there we go. But yeah.
But actually,
yes, that was
fun. Yeah.
That was fun. So does anybody want to have a final say before I do my final thing?
Yeah, take us to the edge, Amy, and then kick us off.
And then drop us off.
Okay. Yeah, so if it's all right, I'll just go right into my spiel here, if that's all right with everybody.
Mhm.
And so
Absolutely.
thank you so much. It was a great show. I really enjoyed it. And obviously the people on my list in my family that obviously for obvious reasons weren't mentioned by name, but they're on there too. Of course, they're all great men that I know and love. They know who they are. I tell them all the time. So
Cool.
we also forgot two future little men, Felix and Matthew, of course, who are going to go on to do great things.
Indeed.
So exactly. So we
Here,
don't
here.
want to forget them too. So those are for the future. So there we go. And so I think we added perfectly to that list. We got past, present, and future, like I was trying to say at the beginning of the show. So it worked out perfect.
Nice.
So thank you. And of course, Captain Kirk, Doctor Who, all of them coming. So yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, everybody. It was so much fun. I really had a great time putting together this list, but it was hard to separate. So I do want to thank everyone in the chat. I want to thank you for all the wonderful interactions and the positive support. We can't do this without you. We do these shows for you too. I want to thank the mods and especially CF Beauty for all the hard work you put in, which helps make these shows run so smoothly. We can't thank you enough for it. So,
Yes,
and I know I always forget. So thank you so much for that too. Lastly, I want to thank everyone on the panel for coming too. You guys all make these shows so much fun, and I can't thank you all enough of the help and the support you give too. And obviously we have great men in the Shills too. So there you go.
Who are they? I'll kill them.
I don't know yet. We'll find out. We'll find them.
All of those Ryan Reynolds lookalikes that we know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you can get Ryan Reynolds and Charlie Brooker on, me and Dick are out.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want to give you
Tossed out on your ass.
That's right. Tossed out. Like, we will throw a pillow that way. Hope you land there. But yes, totally. You give us Daredevil in the Charlie Brooker, and man, I think most people in my life are out.
There you go.
So there you go. I'll be very busy. That's all I got to say. I'll be a very busy person.
But yeah, no, it was it. So yeah, it was so much fun. So thank you, everybody. I can't thank you all enough. I can't thank everybody enough. And also
Deadpool.
Yes, Deadpool is good.
Yeah, not Daredevil, Deadpool. Sorry. Yeah,
that's okay. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the chat. Congratulations to Kaltenberg. That's wonderful. 10 days. Woohoo!
Indeed.
So thank you so much. That's awesome. And I wish you all a great night. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
See, we do love men.
Boom.
It's over. Go home. Go.